Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. Laboratory management will be my last topic for blood transfusion technology. I hope that you have gained something from my previous presentation. I have decided to separate this lab management topic from quality and lab accreditation topic. So this final lecture will have two separate presentations. Okay, this is the overview of this lecture. The first thing that we need to know is about the definition, and then we will discuss a bit about the lab operation, which include the administration and management. The third one is about safety. The fourth one is about law and regulation. The fifth one is about continuous education, which include training and competencies. And the sixth is the development and evaluation of new methodology in blood bank. And finally, we'll discuss a bit about quality. The first thing that we need to know is the definition of laboratory management. Lab management is actually an ongoing process that seeks to integrate and coordinate organizational resources so that quality lab services can be provided as effectively and efficiently as possible. So what are the resources in the blood bank that needs to be managed? They include personnel, equipment, money, time, and also space. So for blood bank service, things that blood bank is providing is safe blood and blood products. Okay, now we go to another section of this topic, which is the lab operation and administration and management. So in this section, we are going to discuss a little bit about the what kind of organization that the blood bank is attached with, what kind of leadership that needs to be practiced when we are managing a blood bank. We will also discuss about the management itself, what are the things that we are going to manage in a blood bank. We will discuss a bit about the human resource as well, what kind of lab services that the blood bank is providing, and finally we will discuss a bit about the procurement and supplies in blood bank. When we are talking about lab operations, administration and management, the first thing that we need to know is the structure of the organization. This structure of organization is represented by organizational chart. The org chart, also known as hierarchy chart, is the graphical representation of an organization structure. The purpose of this chart is to illustrate the reporting relationship and chains of command between employees within the organization. Employees' name and titles, as well as job position, are shown in the box or circle with lines linking them to other employees and departments. By just looking at the org chart, people can gain a quick understanding on how the organization is designed, its number of hierarchy that exists, and where each employee fits into the organization. As an employee, we also need to know the mission and vision of the organization. The mission normally relates to the purpose of organization, and vision relates to strategic plan, normally long-term goals of the organization. This is an example of organizational chart of Pusat Darah Negara. As we all know, PDN is a blood establishment center, also known as main blood provider and not a hospital. It is an independent institution directly under Ministry of Health. Therefore, the organization is a bit unique as the department and unit do not relate to clinical department of hospital. Hospitals, clinic, including government and private institutions around Klang Valley are main customer for PDN. The pengarah will be at the top position and the heads of department will lead each department. The departments that exist in PDN are departments that directly relates to its main activities such as donor section, cross-match, immunohematology, quality section, clinical transfusion, microbiology, national surveillance unit, to name a few. The next example is an organizational chart of blood bank in Hospital Sungai Buloh. Because Hospital Sungai Buloh is a large hospital that accommodates more than 800 beds, the blood bank is administered under Department of Pathology. which has other lab units as well, such as chemical pathology, microbiology, histocytology, etc. Normally, blood bank is put together with hematology unit, as shown here, but certain hospital, hematology and blood bank have been separated as different unit. The blood bank's administrative structure in Hospital Sungai Buloh is almost similar with my workplace. Because both of us are hospital-based transfusion, therefore the structure is designed like this. However, contrary with UMMC, University Malaya Medical Centre, it is an it is a unique organization, as UMMC is a blood establishment center providing blood and blood product as well as function as hospital-based transfusion. In Malaysia, not many hospital performs tasks from A to Z like UMMC. Okay, we move on to next slide. Good leadership is an important factor for growth and operational excellence of any organization. Leader plays a primary role in establishing workplace culture and impact the quality and rate at which the lab progresses over the time. Good leaders inspire others to find self-motivation, greater creativity and productivity, and create a very good team spirit. Good leader also is an effective problem solver, able to communicate well at any level and also a strategist. Generally speaking, leader in lab medicine doesn't only affect the people he or she is working with, but also impact the patient care. There are other elements as well in leadership, but it is too detailed for me to elaborate further now. As part of lab operation, management is about dealing with things and people. Manager needs to plan, organize, and implement action. There are numbers of resources that lab manager needs to manage, such as the staff, equipment, methodology, consumable, money, facilities, etc. Knowing what kind of lab services that the lab is offering is important as well. Lab services being offered in a hospital-based transfusion or blood establishment center are different. Therefore, the manager need to be clear on the mission of what type of organization he or she is attached with. In lab operation, procurement and supplies are important as well. Managing an equipment is a very tedious process, especially when you are the person who is taking in charge of the equipment of your department. It first starts with acquisition, installation, validation, and the next is maintenance, in which you need to ensure that the periodical preventive maintenance (PPM) is regularly performed. Next, you need to take care of the calibration, troubleshooting, service and repair of your equipment. And finally, updating record is your yearly activity, especially when you are the person in charge of equipment or asset inventory of your department. Managing procurement and supply is a skill that you gain over the time from handling procurement of a small purchase to a big purchase. This part carries a huge responsibility as you are handling funds given by the government. But worry not, as the responsibility is shared among your colleagues, especially when it comes to decision making and the process that everyone needs to adhere it. Generally, the process of procurement and supply starts with making specification of items that your department intends to purchase, putting up offers to public advertisement so vendor can see it, making evaluation of offers given by the vendors, decision making and vendor get qualified, and finally receive item that you have purchased. Supplies and reagent are an ongoing item that the manager needs to purchase and monitor stock from time to time. Often critical contract needs to be carefully monitored so that lab services are not affected. Contract needs to be reviewed from time to time, and vendors' performance needs to be evaluated as well. In blood bank, it is important not to only monitor the lab's items inventory, but also to monitor the blood and blood product inventory. It is rather critical when you are part of a blood provider organization. Human resource is equally important for lab operation. Okay, it is responsibility of lab manager in ensuring lab staff to be qualified to perform the required job duties. Blood bank staff hold various qualifications from advanced degree, specialized degree, um, basic degree, diploma, and also school certificate. The administration of blood bank consists of posts that are involved in management and technical roles. Blood bank manager, transfusion specialist, hematologist, MO, scientific officer or biomedical scientist, senior medical laboratory technologies are management posts. Medical laboratory technologies is totally a technical post. However, scientific officer can be in both management and technical as well. Supporting staff such as clerk and healthcare assistant are important to support the organizational activities. To attain a senior post, one must gain adequate years of experience. Interviewing, training, and evaluation are important process to look for right candidate for the laboratory. Monitoring competency and also discipline is important too under human resource management. Safety is a very important topic in medical laboratory. The building that the blood bank is located must be safe for the staff to work on. Facilities and environment are controlled under Fire Service Act 1988 and Department of Safety and Health DOSH. The lab must be strictly accessed. Only authorized personnel are allowed to freely enter the premise at all times. Waste must be managed too, not only general waste but also the clinical and chemical waste. Since 2012, all medical devices, reagents, consumables that have impact on human body must be registered with Medical Device Authority (MDA) department. As blood bank is providing blood product for patient use, infectious disease screening is mandatory. Monitoring distribution of blood and blood storage are other important tasks in safety. The donor safety is also a matter of concern during blood donation. In hospital-based transfusion, unsafe transfusion is a big no-no. Adverse events following transfusion must be recorded and reported to National Surveillance Team. Okay, most of blood banks in our country are hospital-based and hospital-controlled. However, our National Blood Bank is directly administered under MOH. Therefore, I guess the same rules apply. There are rules and regulations the medical laboratory has to follow. One of that is Pathology Laboratory Act 2007. As I mentioned in the previous slide, Medical Device Act has been enforced and all equipment, consumable, reagent that have direct impact on patient body must be registered or else the item will not be purchased by KKM Hospital. The University Hospital has started to adapt this act as well. The private hospital must be operated according to Private Healthcare Facilities and Service Act 1998. By the way, Allied Health Professionals Act 2016 will soon be enforced in Malaysia. This means that anyone who does not have related qualification will not be allowed to work in medical laboratory. Since blood bank also use radioactive material to irradiate blood components, so the blood bank must operate the radioactive material according to Atomic Energy Licensing Act 1984. These are a few examples of law and regulation that are related to blood bank operation. Every lab in other country is governed by each country's rules and regulation. So if you intend to work overseas, who knows, please check the requirement first. Continuous medical education is also an important element of lab management. CME activities are essential to enhance staff understanding on tasks that are performed in the laboratory. Not only that, these activities are important to maintain staff competency and to get staff updated on technology or current issues related to medical laboratory. Therefore, activities such as CME session and knowledge sharing given by staff at all levels can be organized. Staff should be given an opportunity to attend conference either locally, regionally, or internationally as a presenter or as an attendee. Staff at senior position normally holds a responsibility to teach and train. However, vendor can be requested to give refresher course of training if required. For lab staff who is handling specialized tests or perform new tasks, specific training may be given. Competency assessment checks on how well an employee is performing the required tasks in relation to specified performance standards. Areas that can be assessed are knowledge on principles, technical skills, problem solving, and decision making, and also communication. Evaluation of method or evaluation following development of new method technology is also part of lab management. Method validation must be done when there is a change of method, for example, a change from manual to automated analyzer. Method evaluation includes measuring precision, sensitivity, specificity, to name a few. A method evaluation is also a requirement for lab accreditation. Therefore, it has to be done and reported as according to ISO 15189-2012. Evaluating new method development in blood bank is also part of lab management. For example, in overseas, the blood provider has started to use methylene blue treated fresh frozen plasma for pathogen inactivation. However, Malaysia has yet to start this new thing. So now there is a study to see whether the same photochemical treatment using methylene blue, Soralan, and riboflavin is feasible or not to be implemented in Malaysia. So normally as part of lab management, we need to know this kind of project because sooner or later it will be implemented in the lab itself. Quality is always part of laboratory management. We have to know that by implementing quality in lab management, it doesn't mean that we are error-free. However, this quality process helps in detecting errors and prevents them from happening again and again. There are two important elements of quality. They are corrective action and preventive action, also known as CAPA. CAPA is a crucial quality exercise that contributes in improvement of quality in laboratories. Corrective action refers to a remedial measure taken to counter a quality failure or non-conformance and to ensure it does not happen again. Preventive action refers to proactive approach to prevent quality problems. So quality is an important element in laboratory management. As a conclusion for this laboratory management, what are the essential components for an empowered blood transfusion lab? We need to have educated, competent, supported, and motivated team. Of course, we need to have enthusiastic blood transfusion manager and the team as well. Each lab personnel must understand their role and act upon it. There should be a clear guideline for use of all blood components. We need to have a supportive and responsive medical team so that we can work together for an empowered blood transfusion lab. I think that's the end of my presentation for lab management topic. If you have any question, you can always drop me an email at halimatun@uitm.edu.my. So all the best for your class. Thank you very much.